Hey there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up Wednesdays. This is my new video series where, as a professional psychic, I'm going to grab different topics and talk about them. Today, I'm coming to you from my local park on the swing set because why not? So, past lives, my topic for today. So that name alone can really stir up fear for some people, particularly if you're raised in a spiritual, cultural, religious background that doesn't believe in reincarnation and past lives. It can be intimidating, it can strike panic and fear. For a lot of cultures, Buddhism, Hinduism, other tribal cultures around the globe believe in past lives like it's a given. They just understand it. I think the video series that are on a lot of cable shows, and you can Google it on YouTube and just Google children with past life memories. It's so fascinating to hear out of the mouth of babes their past life flashbacks and memories. So I can talk about my personal experience with past lives in that it started off with just deja vu kind of experiences. And I remember in junior high, my family went on a vacation to Santa Fe, New Mexico for the first time, and seeing the cliff dwellings and the pueblos there, I had a visceral, physical experience in my body of like memory, like my something within my soul remembered being there. My conscious mind was like kind of blown because it was so out of what I had ever seen personally before, yet it was so compelling and familiar. So that was such a weird juxtaposition. So something odd and different, yet super familiar. So that's where it started for me the first time I had that experience, and definitely having deja vu experiences a lot as a child, or even learning about certain places or periods of history and just feeling like familiar with the story in history or whatever, like yeah, I know this somehow. I remember meeting a friend that turned into friend lover, like over 3.5 decades. When the first moment I laid eyes on him, I knew him before. So and over the course of almost 40 years of connection, I've seen 19 different past lives just bubble up. And so it started with one in Egypt, and then just over time they would just spontaneously bubble up. And so I liken past life flashbacks sometimes to childhood memories that can just bubble up. Like a lot of us really block out big chunks of childhood, adolescence, young adulthood, yesterday. Like we can just block out of our minds certain things that we're uncomfortable with or have created trauma, or just like our brain gets filled with other things and the details just go away. And so I liken the childhood flashback. Say you run into someone you haven't seen in 40 years and they say, hey, remember when, and they bring up a story, and all of a sudden you can are back in time, and you can even remember how you felt in your physical body, what you were smelling, getting choked up about something from a past life, and just having a recall going on in your system. It shows up differently for different people. Some people will have just visceral, like they can feel it in their body. Some people maybe have flashes and have a visual experience, or hear sounds, or again smell things. Like it can bubble up in different ways. But just like a childhood memory could all of a sudden come back, and all of a sudden you're transported back and have memories that come back that you hadn't thought about in, say, 4 decades, for an example. So past life flashbacks can be very similar as they bubble up. They can be that connection to memories and things that you've known your soul's trying to tell you from past lives. So a tangential topic to past lives is soulmates and twin flames, which I personally don't buy into or subscribe to. I feel like there's soul tribes, soul families, groups that we travel around with in multiple lifetimes and have different configurations with each other. You could be lovers one lifetime and parent-child a next lifetime. The souls can get into these different roles. You can run into someone where you've had a very negative experience. Maybe they've killed you in a past life, and all of a sudden you could have a visceral avoidant feeling with that person, or just they're toxic in some way. Sometimes that is a past life flashback. When you first meet someone, you just don't like them. Sometimes it may just be you being psychic and picking up on something that would be toxic, or gnarly about them in this lifetime. You just never know. Trust your intuition always, for sure. So there's two different ways past life information usually shows up in my professional work as a psychic. One is in readings where I may just get a flash of you in a past life. It may or may not resonate. I can see you in Egypt. I see you as a ancient whatever, and if I get a vision, I get the feeling about that, I'll share it, whether I'm looking at an astrology chart and I get that information, or I'm channeling with tarot, or I'm just sitting there talking with you. So the other way is doing a past life regression where I guide you back into seeing your past lives, and it's guided breath work and imagery, and then I'm coaching you through telling me what you're seeing. In a typical past life regression, you can tap into 3 to 5 different lifetimes. Everybody's different, some people more, some people less, but you have multiple experiences of that, and it's like opening up a portal. That's what it was for me. Like over 40 years ago, I did my first past life regression facilitated by another psychic. And ever since then, it opened up a portal within me where I've been able to access and see past lives, and the things will just bubble up. Like I said, a lot like childhood memories can just bubble up. So the other fascinating thing about past life regressions I've done for people is people don't just go into past lives on this planet. They'll go into other dimensions. They'll go between lifetimes. They'll go onto other planets. Into future lifetimes or concurrent lifetimes. There's a whole weird, big, magical universe that's like so much bigger and more vast and grand than we are. And our souls remember so much more than this lifetime if we can tap into our soul's wisdom, our soul's energy. So we have karmic patterns in this lifetime. Repeated hooks that we get into, repeat over and over and over again. We can get into positive karmic patterns as well, where we have positive experiences over and over again. Our karma is like accumulation of all the causes we've set over the course of our soul's whole evolution through many, many lifetimes. So if you've set lots of good positive causes, if you've really helped people, if you've done your work to grow and evolve in your past lives, you've developed positive karma. If you've been a slacker, if you've treated people horribly, if you've been a miser or whatever, negative qualities in past lives, those qualities will show up in this lifetime as an opportunity for you to grow, evolve, shift, and change them. Karma can be transformed. It's not stuck and static, just like your bank account. It could be in the red or the black depending on what causes you've set financially. But whatever it is, it can be improved and put to a better place. So I also like to caution people, just because you feel like you've had a past life connection with someone, even if it feels very positive and you can go to heart with each other and have this deep connection, doesn't mean you're supposed to be partners this lifetime, or maybe not long-term partners. Sometimes the people we have the strongest, most powerful connection to are the ones that teach us the most, the quickest. Sometimes we get our fastest, quickest lessons through the school of hard knocks, through someone that we've karmically known before. So people go, oh, I know we've had a past life connection. Like, do you know what those past life connections were? I'm just curious, because they're, they can be positive, of course. They can be a mixture, which most of them are a mix, because we're complicated human beings and we mix up, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. We, fall into the same rut over and over again. We get caught up in karmic patterns. And so exploring past lives can be a way to understand your karmic pattern so that you can make different choices. You can draw upon your strengths that you've had over different lifetimes. You can be aware of where your weaknesses are, where your weak tendencies are, because you've done that karmically over many, many lifetimes. It's really fascinating, and incorporating karmic information. For me, it's never been scary. It's always just been, oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, all right. Well, that explains why I'm so blah, blah, blah. I'm so drawn to this, or I just always do it that way. So fascinating topic. Let me know what you think. Let me know any other topics you would like to discuss. If you personally would like to have a past life regression or like me to try to tap into information about your past lives in a reading, contact me. My website is psychedupmovement.com, or you can just type in KarenMariePsychic.com. It'll take you to my website. It has information about all my services and how to contact me. And my Psyched Up Sundays videos are there. My music, there's a music tab there as well. So check it out. I look forward to hearing from you. Let me know what topics you'd like for me to cover on these Psyched Up Wednesdays. Peace.